Which boys? Shadow, what are you saying? Dad left the grass too long? Is the grass too long? Should I have not left those? Hey there YouTube, welcome to Big Mike Beard Wisdom. And today we're going to be tackling the WORX. I think this is a weed eater and an edger. But it's the 56 volt max one, and it's pretty cool. So the batteries are pretty decent size. Pop this one out real quick. So it's definitely not small. They have a gauge, so you can push the button, see how it's charged up at. Then this has a number of features. One of the cooler things is actually this set of wheels for when you go to do some edging. It's got a handle here that you can loosen up and reorient. Same thing with this end. So if you wanted to, you could push this button down and turn this. That way, if you were holding it, now it's oriented like that. Trying to do this so I don't launch this thing off. So you push this button down, turn it, and now it's turned this way. So that's pretty handy. I'll reorient the backside and that handle there in relation to the head, depending on if I'm doing just simple edging along the sidewalk or if I'm trying to knock down some height somewhere, like around a building or something. And then what's really cool, besides the fact that it's electric, so you don't have to worry about having to pull a string or mix a fuel or something like that, is that you push down the safety button, squeeze this, and you're off to the races. So the other thing is that it's got this command feed, and with a lot of the old string trimmers, or maybe like a cheaper string trimmer and stuff like that, the one that I had before this one was like a Master Force one, but it was electric, but it was the old style where you had to bump this down on the ground in order to get the feed string. And the cool thing about that command feed is that I think it essentially sucks in this button here. By sucking in that button, it allows a little bit of string to come out. So every time you can take a little bit more string out. And then it does have an automatic cutter here. So if I fire this up real quick, you may hear it cut the string. So you heard it cut the string. Then we hit the command feed. So you can hear it lets the string out and it trims the string as you go. So a lot like a bump one, except now you're not bumping, you're just hitting your button. Now, one of the cooler things with this is this set of wheels, and then there's a holding point here where you can just clip the set of wheels on when you're not using it. Otherwise, you just slide them over this one here, oh, easy to do. It's out of camera. So you just slide them on, and then they lock in place. There's a little tab down here you push. So you depress the tab, if you can see, so that tab right there, and you can take these back off if you want. So, pretty simple. And that helps with when you're doing edging. So I can't edge and operate this at the same time. So, I'll just stand this up real quick. This handle's handy. You can just unscrew this, loosen the tension, rotate it wherever you want it, put it about there. It should balance. And then when you edge, you can basically just roll on those wheels and cut straight down. So it's pretty cool and pretty handy. you can see, as long as you do your part, you get a pretty good line across here. And that helps clear out the weeds that are kind of overhanging your sidewalk. Now, for my property, when we first got it, along all the sidewalks, there was a lot of encroaching lawn. I guess would be the best way to describe it. And it took a long time to actually use the weed whacker in order to clear it off. Really, I probably should have used a shovel. And as you can see right now, there's quite a fair amount of grass overgrowing it. So I haven't done anything with it so far this year. But you can really see it, how far out it was on these older pieces of sidewalk. So these darker areas that you see is where it used to extend to. So it went out fairly far out into the drive or into the sidewalk. So anyone walking, instead of being able to walk, you know, in this area here or that area there, you had to walk just down the center portion. And by doing this, it really helped later with snow blowing. It makes the world a whole lot easier not catching a little bit of grass as you're going. So real quick, I'll do these couple blocks just to show you what it looks like when you edge it. All right. And then with those two done, you can see it gives you a much cleaner edge. The other thing is that from the winter time, you can kind of see that it was starting to encroach back on. So using that string trimmer, you can knock a little bit of the dirt out. If you've got a lot of dirt though, I'd really recommend using a shovel because you're going to go through a lot of string. Believe me, because last year I kept wondering, maybe I should be doing this with a shovel. So, but it makes it pretty simple and helps you do a relatively good job. I'm sure there's professionals out there that can do this without a set of wheels. And honestly, for the while, I wasn't using the wheels on here. And then as soon as I did it, I was like, wow, that made all the difference. So, because I was just swinging it like I would normally swing a weed eater and buzzing it through like a scythe. And the nice thing is that the head's adjustable on here too. So there's probably a more proper way to do it, but you can kind of step on it and adjust it, and it goes, I think, all the way straight, so it would almost stand up by itself. And then same thing with going down, you go almost fully sideways. The one thing that I would recommend anytime you use a string trimmer though is watch where you're at. You want to watch, make sure you're not, you know, launching this into your neighbor's house or something like that. So a lot of times I'll do the edges of the property first. That way my arms aren't tired yet. And I kind of have my vehicles parked up here. That way my vehicles kind of block anyone else from being here. But if someone's got another vehicle up there too, you want to be careful about that as well. I did kind of mention that your arms get tired. This sucker will wear you out. So that battery is relatively heavy. And the whole thing, I don't know, not overly heavy, but as you're sitting there, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, over and over again, if you don't work out, you're gonna feel it. Then the battery charger is pretty simple stuff too. So it's got a nice charger, one that's got holes in it. So if you want to sit it, you could sit it standing up, or you could lay it down or mount it to a wall. And then it's got like the pictogram kind of stuff for what the flashing lights mean. And they charge up pretty quick. So that's why I use like the Cobalt for like the lawnmower. Because then if the Cobalt batteries are toast, I can come through and weed whack real quick with this. And I've got two batteries with this. Even if it's a really bad lawn or a bad day, like today's actually turning out to be, because I haven't done it, and it seems like over the winter time a lot of that soil got smashed down back over the sidewalk. So this will charge up relatively quick. And then for me, I also have a leaf blower that DeWalt makes, just so I have a backup for cleanup. But today I should be good to go with the leaf blower from WORX. And their leaf blower works pretty good too. So this is the 56 volt max leaf blower, so same as the weed whacker or string trimmer. And this, I kind of actually keep it in the house over the winter time, because if you get just like a light dusting, sometimes you can take this out and use this to quickly blow off the sidewalk or blow off the porch or something like that. That way, instead of grabbing the shovel, you just grab this. Pretty simple controls. It's got just a dial right here. So it can blow a little, or it can blow a lot. And then I put the little adapter cone on there to help it blow a little bit better, or the concentrator cone maybe you might call it. And it blows simple lawn clippings off pretty good. But you can see I only did about half the front sidewalk, and it's mostly because it's kind of a pain in the butt and I got places to be, things to do. But you can kind of look at this as a before, so you can see how it's a little bit like a regular edges and stuff like that. And then this is the after. Where as long as you didn't go super crazy with it, it would have went alright. But like on this side, that one I didn't work on super hard in previous years. I've worked harder on this one, especially last year, on trying to keep it straight. So it's one of those things that once you do this once, if you do it the next week, it'll be easier to do than if you do it like once every 2 months or something. But like this is a good example. You can see how much the soil was coming up and over the edge. So next time I do this, I'll need to focus on this area a little bit harder. Same thing with some of these areas here. A lot of it was still just a little bit of grass that was overlapping, so a lot of it wasn't too bad. again, if you do get a chance to do like your own edging and stuff like that, it really comes in handy, especially winter time, because now instead of having like little jut outs and stuff like that, you've got nice straight lines that you can follow with the snowblower. So both the WORX leaf blower and the string trimmer slash edger work pretty good. It's kind of one of those tools that I'm glad I have. Oh, it's a shadow. Ooh, it's windy. But I really like both those tools. They really kind of help make your, especially your sidewalks and stuff like that, look a lot cleaner. And then luckily, I don't have to string trim around this pole anymore, because between the boys and all the other neighborhood dogs, they've got that grass pretty much good and dead. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll check you next time. Boys.